In the words of Vulcan Raven, the judgment has been decided. Hello, people. Another beautiful day. Yep. Hope your five senses work. Health and strength is good or excellent. What? I was just sitting here thinking. I had just made a video about the Wii U a minute ago. And I was trying to explain the virtual console and what it is. And then I'm sitting here going through the. I went on Tweaktown's page, and I'm like, what? And I just saw the news, and I'm like, oh, Microsoft won. Yeah, in the words of Vulcan Raven from Metal Gear, the judgment has been decided. Yeah. Says here, FTC loses, Xbox wins. Appeals court denied FTC's injunction in Microsoft Activision merger case. Look, I told you guys that the Ninth District was going to look at the judge's decision and then base their decision off that. She came up with 8 solid, concrete reasons, and the last one was a dagger. Yeah, I knew the FTC was going to have a hard time with that, based on the judge's decision. When a judge sit there and give you 8 or even 10 reasons why. Yeah, the Ninth District courts, they were watching. Like I told you, they were watching. Okay, they were watching. So yeah. So when the FTC decided to file for an appeals, they were gonna have a hard time. But the clock was ticking, you know. So I was kind of stunned that they called it this early. I was kind of like, wow, that quick? That's what I was thinking. But yeah, in the words of Vulcan Raven from Metal Gear, the judgment has been decided. Yeah, Kojima is a fool. Is crazy for Metal Gear though. But anyway, yeah. And again, no disrespect to the FTC, no disrespect to the CMA or the European Commission, you know. But yeah, they weren't prepared for this, you know. They weren't prepared for this. They weren't ready. They weren't prepared. Like my computer teacher used to tell me, 95-5. 95% preparation, 5% execution, and no late homework. So, yeah, they weren't prepared for this, you know. Yeah. But, well, Microsoft and Activision can close, and the game industry lives on and moves on. So yeah, listen to this. FTC loses, Xbox win. Appeals court denies FTC injunction in Microsoft Activision merger case. The Ninth Circuit Court of Appeal have denied the Federal Trade Commission injunction request, and the merger as effectively green light in the U.S. What's up, Tweaktown? It says here, in a big win for Xbox, the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals has denied the Federal Trade Commission injunction. The merger is now clear to close in the United States, but the tech firm will seek approval from overseas regulators. And then it says here, the FTC has lost its bid to stop the $68.7 billion Microsoft Activision merger. Moments ago, the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals issued an order denying the Commission's request for an emergency injunction that would have prohibited the two companies from merging until after the FTC appeal had been adequately ruled upon by the courts. The FTC sought this order to extend an existing temporary restraining order that remains in effect until tonight at 11:59 midnight. like Marv said on Home Alone, at midnight tonight, we're robbing Duncan's treasure chest. Anyway, under this order, Microsoft and Activision cannot merge until the order expires. The FTC appears to have wanted to run out the clock and keep Microsoft and Activision from combining long after the merger July 18th termination date. Then it says there is just one last hurdle that Microsoft and Activision have to face before they are free and clear to consummate the merger. The UK regulators at the Competition and Market Authority still oppose the deal. That means the UK and the European Commission are going to have a little chat. Anyway, says here, and the antitrust group has extended their final report deadline well past July 18th date. The CMA now has until August 29th to file their final report. Once this report is made, neither Microsoft nor Activision will have the opportunity to make concession. That being said, the core reason that the CMA extended schedule is so that it has adequate time to consider Microsoft's detailed and complex submission. That may restructure the deal, or maybe they're trying to help Sony. It says here the merger case has moved to the Competition Appeal Tribunal, and the CAT has set a case management conference for July 17th, a day before the merger deadline on July the 18th. So it's also possible that Microsoft and Activision negotiate a new deadline for the merger as a result of the CAT hearing and the CMA final report rescheduling. Well, this looks like the CMA is really still trying to help Sony here. That's what all this boils down to now, and that's the vibe I'm getting from this. That's why they extend this. I mean, they sat there and watched their buddies, the FTC, take two L's in a week. Yeah, and now they're the last one standing. So they were really trying to help Sony, because if you remember when they blocked the deal, they said after 10 years, first they blocked the deal, then they put another 10-year block on it. Then they said after the 10-year block is over, we might want to renegotiate the deal or something of that sort. But then all of a sudden, when the FTC lost the case, then they try to change their mind. Now they're trying to play hardball. Now they want to say, oh, you're not being transparent enough. They're just trying to help Sony from the get-go. That's all this comes down to right now. So Microsoft is in the driver's seat, and if I were them, I would just close this deal and get it over with. You know, the UK, they wanted to play hardball. Okay, let's play. You know, yeah. Microsoft has been trying to work with people. You know, giving out 10-year contracts all over the place. Yeah. Trying to help everyone. You know, the European Commission, they agreed to the deal, but the UK now, yeah, they're just trying to help Sony. That's all this is. That's all this boils down to now. And now you extend the date to past July the 18th. Let's see here, till August 29th. You're really trying to help Sony here, okay? And that's what this all comes down to now. So I'll keep you guys posted on what's going on with this. But the FTC, the rules have changed. You know, you have to change your you got to change your what I would say, your position on a lot of things, you know, because the world is changing. You know, that I mean, principles still matter, but you got to do a lot of changing. Yep. Yeah. So Microsoft right now, they can keep moving right now, you know. But the pressure is mounting against the UK right now. Yeah. Mounting against the UK. Bobby Kotick say they were closed for business. He just twiddling his fingers right now. Like the Sentinels on the Matrix. Yep. Man. Yeah, so Microsoft, they saw this, man, and they had to swoop in and get it, you know. The FTC messed up in the very beginning, and once they try to make this about a high-performance console market, then to go into a courtroom unprepared, you take Nintendo out the picture, then you need them to testify. Then you're so focused on the deal. Your economist lost. The judge is sitting there asking you guys questions. You can't answer it. And then she gave you 8 solid reasons. So every judge that I would say every judge in the United States was watching this to see how this was going to play out. Every judge that sits on the bench, you know, but they do communicate, you know. It's like one big family. So yeah, when she gave out those eight decisions, oh yeah, the Ninth Circuit Court Appeals Court, they were watching it. Oh yeah. You know, so she gave them 8 solid concrete reasons. Oh yeah. But now the UK they're trying to use the same tactics that the FTC just used when they were asking Microsoft to turn in documents. They were trying to tell Microsoft, you weren't being transparent enough. That means they didn't have enough facts or evidence, you know, and they needed more from Microsoft to build their case. Yeah. Then to go in the courtroom and yeah, the UK is using the same tactics that the FTC is doing. But yeah, they have a decision to make, you know. So yeah, the merger case moved the Competition Appeal Tribunal, and the CAT has set a case management conference for July the 17th, today the 14th. Oh yeah, the game industry moves on, man. Yep. So Activision Blizzard is part of the Microsoft family now. Oh yeah. Game Pass is growing. Yeah. All those people that bought stocks in Activision. Yeah. Yeah, man. This was a battle. This was an endurance game, though. This was an endurance game. This was an endurance game. I mean, the UK, they tried to, I mean, they blocked the deal, and then they blocked the deal, but then put a 10-year block to try to stop Microsoft and Activision from merging. But then they have to sit there and watch their buddies, the FTC, in court, get grilled by Judge Jacqueline Corley Scott. Yeah. And when they watch that, they change their tune now. So Microsoft's still trying to work with them, you know. Yeah, they talking about after 10 years, we might renegotiate the deal after 10 years. But when the FTC had to go through litigation, and they took a hit like that from Judge Jacqueline Corley Scott, Scott Corley, or messing the name up. Anyway, yeah, it humbled them, you know. And I'm not going to say the FTC are bad people, or I'm not going to say the CMA or the UK are bad people. I would say they just wasn't prepared for this, you know. They just wasn't prepared. You know? It's just like, I think they were like when Sony ran to the UK screaming wolf, wolf, wolf. And then there was no wolf, you know. I think they fell for it. They didn't stop and pause for a minute, like, wait a minute, what is this all about? You know, they should have went at Sony first, like, okay, what is the real reason you're doing all this complaining? What are you worried about? That's what they should have done, you know. And, go at Sony, like, okay, you're doing all this crying and complaining. Okay, what is the problem here? Okay, and they should have asked him, okay, what did you do to create this problem? What did you do for Microsoft to invest to buy Activision Blizzard? You had to do something. They should have did something of that sort, but you know. Yeah, but yeah, man. You know, they should have pumped their brakes a little bit. Like, wait a minute, you bought Activision Blizzard for how much? Okay, what is the real reason you buying Activision Blizzard? And then Microsoft should just lay it all out, which I think they did. You know? But the UK should have went at Sony like, you're doing all this crying and complaining. It's like you were doing your dirt and then you're hiding your hand. So why are you doing all this crying and complaining? What did you do to trigger this move to where Microsoft purchased Activision Blizzard? What did you do? And that's how the UK. That's how the UK should have went at Sony. Went straight at them instead of trying to take sides. Like, back up a little bit. Like, okay, what did you do to create this problem? You know, and how did it get to this point? That's how they should have approached it. If they would approach it from that angle, then they might have got something. They might have a lot to work with. But they came out They came out going from Microsoft and thinking that Sony was the good guy here. Yeah. And the FTC should have done the same thing. Like, wait a minute. You filed a lawsuit, UK. What did Sony do to trigger this? Before we get involved in this, and that's how they should have approached this. Like, before we get involved in this, what did Sony do to trigger this? And that's how the FTC should have went about this, but they didn't. They just jumped to it right away. This is based on a high-performance console market. What? No, we base this on a high-performance console market, and then they try to kick Nintendo to the curb. But now you need them to testify? The FTC should have went to the UK first. Like, okay, why did you file a case? Okay, why did you file? What did Sony do to trigger this? Because Microsoft just doesn't make a purchase just to make a purchase. What's the real issue? What's the real underlining issue here? And that's how the FTC should have went about it. If they would have did that, they would have had a stronger case. But they didn't. So, like I told you before, they rush to judgment. And they paid a price for it. To go in that courtroom unprepared. You got Phil Spencer coming at you, that's one. But then to have the judge just lay it all out in 8 simple steps on why you failed. Yeah. The FTC should have went about it the right way. Like, wait a minute. Okay, why did Microsoft buy Activision Blizzard? What triggered this? What events lead up to this? What event lead up to Microsoft making this huge transaction? What's going on here? And that's how they should have went to the UK. Okay, what is Sony's role in this? What did they do to create this problem? How did this thing? That's how the FTC should have went about it. They didn't, and they're paying a price. And they paid a price, man. They rushed to judgment. They were not prepared. Yeah. And now the UK trying to play hardball, trying to use the FTC tactics. Nah, not this time. It's not going. Nah, you're gonna. They got a decision to make. Okay. Yeah. You put a block. You block the deal. Okay, fine. You block the deal. But then you turn around and put a 10-year block. And then you're telling them, oh, after 10 years we might want to renegotiate the deal. Oh, so you're giving Sony 10 more years to come up with a cloud infrastructure, huh? Okay. Okay. But then to sit there and then watch your buddy, the FTC, took a huge loss in court like that, humbles them. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, man, the FTC rushed to judgment, but the UK, oh yeah, the pressure is mounting, you know. Oh yeah. Yep. Microsoft did right on this. They did right on this. Yeah. So, well, we'll see what the outcome of the rest of this is, but I'll keep you guys posted on it. But the FTC rushed the judgment on this. I mean, they jumped the gun right away. They didn't even stop and pause. Like, okay, UK, you're filing a lawsuit. Why? What triggered this? What's the reason you're filing a lawsuit? What is Sony's what part did Sony play a role into this, to where Microsoft had to make this type of purchase? That's how they should have went about it. If they would have did that, they might have had something to work with. But they jumped the gun, you know. Yeah. The rules to the games have changed now, and a lot of business tech companies who are watching this, they're gonna take notes. So next time they go to court with the FTC, they know what to do. Anyway, latest video for y'all to enjoy. Nice talking to you people again. Chris, still a Star Wars and Star Trek thing. Or Dark Side. Go. Peace.